The silent breach. The stars stretched endlessly across the blackness, silent and cold. Yet in the outer rim of human space, a disturbance flickered like a shadow in the void. Alien scouts moved with precise, deliberate stealth, their ships almost invisible against the backdrop of distant suns. No alarms sounded from their systems, no weapons fired. From the outside, it seemed almost peaceful. But for the humans observing from the command deck of the starship Sentinel, the quiet was terrifying. Commander Aric Dane stood rigid, his eyes scanning the holographic display of sensors. The readings were strange. "They're there," he muttered, more to himself than anyone else. "They're at the edge of our space. But they're not doing anything." Lieutenant Mira Chen leaned closer, her fingers flying across the control panel. "I don't understand. We should see movement signals, anything. But it's nothing. Silent. Too silent." Aric's jaw tightened. "Silent is worse than noise. At least if we hear something, we know what we're facing." He turned to his crew. "Prepare all defenses. Keep the drones ready. I want every probe online." Outside the human fleet, the alien scouts drifted closer, invisible shadows moving in perfect formation. Their ships were unlike anything humans had catalogued. Sleek, angular designs that shimmered when light hit them at certain angles. No markings, no familiar weapons, just silent observers. And they were watching. Meanwhile, in the communication room of the Sentinel, signals began to crackle and fade. Tiny unmanned probes, sent to survey the outer rim, vanished without a trace. One probe would transmit normally, then, poof, disappeared. No debris, no energy spikes, nothing. "This isn't a malfunction," said Engineer Kellen, running diagnostics furiously. "It's like something is absorbing them, or erasing them." "I've never seen readings like this." Mira's eyes widened. "Do you mean the aliens?" "Possibly," Kellen replied, not taking his eyes off the console. "Whatever they are, they don't want to be seen. And now they don't want us to see anything either." The tension on the bridge grew. Every crew member felt it, a creeping unease that clawed at the mind. Humans had faced hostile races before, but none like this. None so quiet, so deliberate. The scouts moved without warning, without patterns, yet they were clearly aware of human presence. Aric walked to the viewing deck, looking out at the expanse of space. The stars twinkled innocently, yet somewhere among them a silent force waited. A question burned in his mind. What are they planning? Back in the fleet's sensor array, Lieutenant Chen spotted a faint ripple in the readings. A pulse of energy that passed through empty space. "Commander, look at this," she said. "I'm picking up something, almost like a signal. But it's wrong. Not like anything human-made," Aric frowned. "Could it be communication between their ships?" "Maybe," Mira replied. "Or maybe it's a warning. Or a trap." The crew fell silent, each imagining the possibilities. Alien technology that humans could barely comprehend, silently appearing at their doorstep. They had no idea if this was the start of an invasion, or if the aliens were merely scouting. But one thing was clear. Something dangerous lurked, and it was intelligent. Hours passed like minutes. The human fleet remained on high alert, every system manned, every weapon ready. Commander Aric paced the bridge, eyes darting from one display to the next. The alien scouts did nothing overt, yet the humans felt the weight of their presence like a physical pressure. Then came the first real sign of trouble. A probe near the border suddenly transmitted a garbled message. Static-filled images of stars, then silence. And the probe itself vanished. "Lost it," Kellen said quietly. "Completely gone. No debris, no signal, nothing." Mira shook her head. "That's impossible. Something isn't right. This is more than reconnaissance. They're testing us, or maybe they're hunting." Aric's face darkened. "Hunting? Don't say that lightly." "I'm serious," Mira said. "Think about it. They appear without warning, vanish without a trace, and absorb or destroy anything that gets too close. That's not just scouting, that's preparation." Across the fleet, other ships reported similar incidents. Probes vanished. Small craft lost power without explanation. Even long-range scans flickered, disrupted by unknown energy fields. The humans were starting to understand. This presence was not random. It was strategic. Commander Aric stood silent for a moment, staring at the blinking lights on the main display. "We've never faced anything like this," he murmured. Then his voice hardened. "We'll survive this. We always do. Keep every system online. Do not engage unless we have to. And stay alert. They might not show their hand, but they'll make a move." The bridge crew exchanged uneasy glances, every second stretched with tension. Somewhere out there, silent and watching, the alien scouts waited, observing, judging, perhaps planning a strike that could wipe out entire colonies without warning. And then a new signal appeared. It was faint, almost imperceptible, a series of pulses that repeated in a pattern too precise to be natural. The humans had never encountered anything like it. Kellen leaned over the console, voice barely a whisper. "Commander, I think it's a message. From them, but I can't decode it. It's wrong. Not language, not numbers. Something else entirely." Mira frowned. "Whatever it is, it's meant for us to find, or maybe to lure us into something." Aric's eyes narrowed. "Or warn us. One thing is certain, we don't know what they want, and that makes them dangerous." The Sentinel and its fleet held their positions at the edge of human space, watching the darkness, knowing that any wrong move could spark disaster. The alien scouts remained quiet, a silent menace lurking just beyond reach. The humans could see their shadowy forms on sensors, but never clearly. Always a hint, never a full reveal. And so the tension grew. The stars, once symbols of exploration and hope, now felt like a trap. The humans knew one thing for certain. Whatever these aliens were planning, it would change the balance of power in human space forever. The calm of human space shattered like glass. One moment, the Sentinel and its fleet hovered at the edge of the outer rim, tense but ready. The next, a blinding flash erupted near the remote outpost of Epsilon 12. Explosions tore through the facility, sending debris spiraling into the void. Commander Aric Dane's heart skipped a beat as alarms screamed across the bridge. Red lights bathed the room. "Report!" he barked. Lieutenant Mira Chen's fingers flew across the console. "Epsilon 12, they didn't just attack, Commander. It's wiped out completely. No survivors detected." Engineer Kellen's face paled. "How? Our shields! There wasn't even time to respond." Outside the fleet, the alien scouts glimmered briefly before vanishing into the void. Their sudden strike had been precise, surgical, and terrifyingly efficient. The humans had only moments to react, and already the aliens had struck. "Prepare countermeasures," Aric ordered, trying to keep his voice steady. "We need to track them. We need to know what hit our outpost." Mira's eyes widened as a secondary alert flashed across the display. "Commander, it's not just Epsilon 12. Drones in Sector Gamma 7 are disappearing too. Something is moving faster than anything we've seen." Aric's jaw tightened. "They're testing our perimeter, mapping our reactions. They're learning about us." Kellen shook his head, running diagnostics on the fleet's sensors. "They're unlike anything we've ever faced. Every strike is perfect. No debris, no energy spikes we can track. It's as if they're ghosts." The human fleet scrambled. Smaller fighter ships took to the void, patrolling the border, but the alien scouts remained elusive. No matter how fast the humans moved, the aliens always stayed just out of reach, striking when they wanted, disappearing when humans thought they had a chance to respond. At Epsilon 12, the scene was horrifying. The outpost, a hub for research and surveillance, had been reduced to fragments. Smoke and debris drifted into space. Automated defense turrets had been destroyed before firing a single shot. The few survivors, workers in maintenance tunnels, stared into the void, shaking and terrified. One of them, Lieutenant Val, managed to reach a small transmission pod. "Command," he whispered into the intercom, voice trembling. We don't know what hit us. It came from nowhere. It's intelligent. It's hunting us." The transmission cut off suddenly, leaving silence. Back on the Sentinel, Aric slammed his fist on the console. "They're not just scouts. They're attackers, and they're testing us, probing for weakness. Mira leaned closer to her console. "Commander, look at this. Energy readings from the destroyed outpost don't match any human or known alien weapon. They're advanced beyond comprehension. Faster than anything we've built and deadly precise." Aric rubbed his temples. "So we're dealing with something we can't fight head-on. Not yet. But we can't let them gain confidence." Suddenly, sensors lit up again. Another attack vector. Smaller ships were being wiped out in seconds. One by one, automated drones vanished, erased as if swallowed by the dark void itself. Kellen muttered under his breath, "It's like they know exactly where everything is before it moves, before we even think about moving it." The fleet commander, Admiral Jorah, appeared on the bridge's holoscreen. "Aric, situation report." Aric turned sharply. "Sir, the aliens struck Epsilon 12 and several sectors simultaneously. No human ship has been destroyed directly yet, but probes and small craft are disappearing faster than we can track. Their technology, it's beyond anything in our records." Admiral Jorah's face darkened. "We knew human space was vulnerable, but not like this. Prepare all strike teams. We need to observe and survive. Do not engage unless absolutely necessary. Our priority is understanding their patterns." As the fleet adjusted positions, a strange pattern began to emerge. The aliens attacked in sequences, seemingly random, but almost like a choreographed test. The humans realized these attacks weren't meant to destroy them fully. They were meant to scare, confuse, and measure. Commander Aric's mind raced. "They're studying us. Seeing what we fear, what we protect, what we value. Every probe they erase, every outpost they destroy. They're learning about human reactions, and we don't even know the extent of their abilities yet." Meanwhile, at the edge of the fleet, Lieutenant Chen noticed a flicker on the sensors. "Commander, a scout just blinked out of existence, and it left something behind." Kellen leaned over. "Something behind? That's impossible." The display showed a faint, shimmering residue of alien energy, barely perceptible. "It's a marker," Kellen said slowly, "or a warning. Something left intentionally." Aric's stomach churned. "A warning? For us, or for anyone else who dares enter their space?" Suddenly a transmission came through from one of the surviving Epsilon 12 scientists. "Commander, you need to know. It's intelligent. It observes, learns, and adapts. It doesn't make mistakes. Whatever this is, it's not just an invasion, it's hunting strategy." The words hit the crew like ice. Hunting, that single word, made every human aboard feel vulnerable. They were no longer just defending space. They were being studied, measured, and stalked. Aric paced the bridge, eyes scanning the dark expanse of stars. "We've faced hostile aliens before. We've fought wars, but never like this. These scouts, these attacks, they are different. They're not just machines. They're calculating, patient, waiting for the right moment." Mira's voice trembled slightly. "And we don't even know if we'll have time to react when that moment comes." The fleet settled into a tense orbit around a nearby star system. Every ship on high alert. Drones were deployed, defenses reinforced, but the unease remained. Outside, the alien scouts lingered in the darkness, almost taunting, invisible, silent, watching, waiting for the humans to make a mistake. And in that silence, Commander Aric realized the truth. Human space had been breached. The first strike had been made. The aliens were testing, probing, hunting, and the humans had no idea what their next move would be. For viewers, the suspense was palpable. Every signal, every disappearance, every flicker on the sensors hinted at something greater. A deadly force with patience and intelligence beyond imagination. The audience couldn't help but ask, will the humans survive the next strike? Or is this the beginning of a war they might not win? The void of space felt heavier now. Human space, once a frontier of exploration and discovery, had become a realm of tension and fear. The fleet had survived the first strike. But the knowledge that alien scouts could strike anywhere, any time, gnawed at every crew member's mind. Commander Aric Dane stood on the bridge of the Sentinel, staring at the endless black. His hand rested on the console, but his mind raced. "They're not just testing our defenses anymore," he said, voice low. "They're playing with us, watching how we move, how we react. And we still don't know their goal." Lieutenant Mira Chen's fingers hovered over the sensor panel. "Sir, there's movement." Something odd along the main trade route. Small blips, almost invisible. Ships disappearing, no debris, no energy signatures. Just gone. Aric's eyes narrowed. "Another strike?" Mira shook her head. "I don't know. It's too subtle. Too precise, and not like before. These ships, our ships, vanish as if swallowed by the stars." The bridge crew went silent. Each of them knew the risk. Every signal, every disappearing ship was proof that they were being watched, and that someone, or something, was learning their weaknesses. Engineer Kellen leaned closer to the console, voice tense. "Commander, I'm picking up fluctuations in the sensor field, like shadows moving between stars. Nothing solid, nothing we can target. But whatever it is, it's huge, and it's near human traffic lanes." Aric turned to the tactical officer. "Prepare the fleet. Alert all patrols. I want every ship on high alert. Any sudden movement, report immediately." Outside, the fleet's scanners flickered, capturing ghostly forms. Shadows between stars, fleeting and hard to define. Crew members reported sudden energy spikes, systems failing for seconds, and instruments acting against logic. Every time they tried to approach, the shadows would vanish. Mira's voice broke the tense silence. "Commander, it's like they're toying with us. These shadows. They're not attacking, not yet. But they're watching, studying, waiting for a chance." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Fear settled in like a thick fog. Humans had faced hostile races before, but nothing like this. They were dealing with beings who did not follow patterns they could predict. Every shadow, every flicker could hide danger, or worse. Then came the first truly alarming signal. A long-range transport vessel vanished in seconds. The sensors picked up a faint distortion, a ripple in space itself, but no debris, no trace. The Sentinel crew watched in horror. "Another one," Kellen muttered. "It's like they erase everything, including the ship's energy signature." "Nothing remains," Aric clenched his fists. "They're not just attacking, they're hunting. And they're learning what terrifies us most: unpredictability, fear." Meanwhile, aboard the scout fleet, subtle anomalies began to appear. Life support fluctuated on smaller ships. Communications were scrambled. Even the fleet's AI systems hesitated, as if uncertain how to respond. The shadows among the stars were more than just ships. They were a force beyond human comprehension. Mira turned to Aric, voice shaking slightly. "Sir, some of the vanished ships. I think I see traces, faint residual energy, almost like a map, but incomplete. It's as if they want us to see, but not fully understand." Aric frowned. "A message? Or a trap?" Before Mira could answer, the fleet's sensors picked up a new anomaly. A freighter appeared on the edge of detection, drifting silently. It had no communication signals, no transponder, and no crew response. When the Sentinel approached, the freighter suddenly blinked out of existence. Kellen backed away from the console. "It's happening faster now. They're moving closer to populated systems." Suddenly, the fleet's communications officer, Ensign Rhea, shouted, "Commander, I'm getting—" Voices not human, not anything we recognize. But they're clear, saying something. I can't translate, but it's directed at us. Aric's eyes widened. They're trying to communicate or intimidate. Either way, it's psychological warfare. They want us to be afraid before the real strike. Mira's fingers flew over the console. "Sir, the shadows, they're moving strategically, following our ships. Not randomly. They know our paths, our formations. They're predicting our moves before we make them." Aric swallowed hard. "Prepare the fleet. Full evasive maneuvers. We'll try to anticipate, but we need to survive long enough to understand their strategy." Outside, the shadows among the stars danced like ghostly specters. Every fleet maneuver, every sensor ping seemed anticipated. The humans realized that any rash move could lead to another vanishing, another one-way trip into nothingness. Hours passed in a tense, breathless vigil. The Sentinel crew took shifts scanning, analyzing, and predicting. Every flicker of energy, every anomaly in space, kept them on edge. Each shadow could be a deadly scout. Each signal could hide a trap. Kellen finally broke the silence. "Commander, I think I understand part of it. They're not just attacking, they're mapping us. Our responses, our fears, our defenses. They'll know exactly how to strike when they finally decide to do so." Aric's jaw tightened. "Then we have to be smarter, faster, unpredictable, but how do you outsmart a being that can vanish, reappear, and observe before you even act?" Mira's voice trembled with urgency. "We have to survive long enough to learn them. Every shadow, every vanishing ship gives us clues. If we panic, we lose. If we wait and watch, maybe we can fight back." Aric nodded slowly. "Then that's what we'll do. Observation first. Defense second. Engagement only if necessary. Keep your eyes open. Trust no shadow. And remember, human space is ours. We won't let them take it without a fight." Outside, the void remained calm, but the shadows among the stars were everywhere. They slipped between ships, following, observing, testing, hunting. The humans were trapped in a deadly game of patience and fear. For viewers, every moment in Part 3 built suspense. The vanished ships, the mysterious signals, the psychological strain on the crew, all pointing toward a terrifying unknown. Every shadow suggested that human space was no longer safe, and every move could be the fleet's last. The silence of space no longer felt safe. Every ship in the human fleet scanned the void, with eyes wide open, aware that the alien scouts could strike at any moment. Commander Aric Dane leaned over the main console of the Sentinel, his mind racing with one thought: we need to understand them before they destroy us. Hours after the shadow sightings, the fleet picked up something unusual, a faint, flickering object drifting in the void near the outer rim. It wasn't moving naturally, and it emitted energy signatures unlike anything the humans had seen before. Lieutenant Mira Chen studied the readings. "Commander, this isn't a ship." "Not exactly. It looks like a device. Maybe a probe, maybe something else. But it's definitely alien." Aric's eyes narrowed. "Bring it aboard, carefully. I want all analysis on this. No mistakes." The retrieval team carefully maneuvered a small shuttle to collect the alien device. Its surface was black and reflective, shifting in patterns that made it seem alive. No visible seams or openings existed. It hovered silently in the shuttle's containment field, emanating an almost imperceptible hum. Engineer Kellen examined it first. "It's incredible. Nothing human-made even comes close. Energy readings are fluctuating constantly. Systems can't lock on." "It's adaptive, alive in some way." Mira reached out with caution. "It's like it's watching us." Aric's jaw tightened. "Maybe it is. Keep your distance, but find out what it does. We have to know their plan." The crew gathered in the lab, a mix of awe and fear in their eyes. The device pulsed suddenly, a bright flare of energy that illuminated the room. On the console screens, alien symbols appeared. They flickered and shifted too quickly to read. "Commander," Mira whispered. "It's communicating, but I can't understand it. It's not language, not numbers. Something else." Kellen frowned. "It's like it's sending concepts, ideas, maybe even emotions. I've never seen anything like it. It's intelligent, beyond anything human or alien we've studied." Aric's mind raced. "So these invaders aren't just fighters. They're thinkers, observers. They plan and they adapt. That explains why their attacks are so precise." Suddenly, the device emitted a pulse that sent data directly to the fleet's AI network. Screens lit up with incomplete star maps, alien flight patterns, and energy fields. It was like a window into their operations. "Look at this," Kellen said, pointing. "They're mapping human space, not just for attack, but for containment. They want to control movement, predict our fleet positions. Every vanishing ship we saw, it was a test." "Data gathering," Mira shivered. "They're patient, calculating. They could wipe us out one by one if we're careless." Aric walked to the viewport, staring at the void. "We've been in space a long time, fought many enemies, but never like this. These invaders, they think in ways we can't anticipate, and that makes them deadly." The device pulsed again, and this time it projected a faint hologram in the lab. The image was distorted but recognizable, a massive alien fleet hovering over a human colony, ships lined up with precision, energy shields glowing. The humans gasped. "Commander!" "That's a human colony," Mira whispered. "They're planning, preparing. If they strike, hundreds of thousands could die." Aric clenched his fists. "We need to act. But first we must understand. Knowledge is our weapon now. If we rush, we play into their hands." Meanwhile, subtle anomalies began affecting the fleet. Communication delays, sensor glitches, and small malfunctions hinted at the aliens' reach. It was becoming clear. These invaders were not just scouts or raiders. They had advanced control over space itself, manipulating technology in ways humans could barely comprehend. Kellen looked up from his console. "Commander, if we can decode even part of this device, we could anticipate their attacks. But if we fail, it could be catastrophic." "They're testing our limits," Aric nodded. "Then we do what humans do best: adapt, study, survive. Every secret they reveal is a chance to fight back. Every unknown is a challenge we will meet." For days, the fleet worked tirelessly. Scientists, engineers, and tacticians analyzed every pulse, every signal, and every fluctuation from the alien device. Slowly, patterns emerged. Predictive algorithms, energy flow systems, and even hints of alien communication protocols. The humans began to understand not just the technology, but the invaders' strategy. But understanding brought its own fear. The invaders were meticulous, patient, and intelligent. They observed, learned, and adapted. They could predict human reactions before humans acted. Any mistake, any miscalculation could lead to disaster. One night, Aric stood alone on the bridge, staring at the stars. "We know more now," he said softly, almost to himself. "But knowing doesn't make it easier. They are out there, watching, waiting, calculating." Suddenly the device pulsed again, sending a wave of energy across the fleet. Lights flickered, consoles glitched. For a moment, it felt as if the invaders were speaking directly to every human on board. A silent warning, a message of dominance. Mira grabbed Aric's arm. "Sir, it's like they're alive. They know we're trying to understand them." Aric's eyes hardened. "Then we'll use that against them. Every secret they reveal, we turn into an advantage. They may be powerful, but humans never back down." Outside the Sentinel, the alien scouts lingered, shadows in the darkness. Their purpose remained unclear. Observation, control, preparation. It was all part of a bigger plan. But humans had learned one thing: the invaders were not invincible. And with knowledge, patience, and courage, humanity could strike back. The stars seemed darker now. Human space, once vast and free, had become a labyrinth of fear. Every sensor blip, every shadow between stars, reminded the fleet that the alien invaders were always watching. Commander Aric Dane paced the bridge of the Sentinel, his mind racing with the revelations from the alien device. "Commander," Lieutenant Mira Chen said, pointing at the display, "I've analyzed the coordinates from the device. There's a restricted sector. Something big is there. I think it's their base of operations." Aric's eyes narrowed. "The Forbidden Zone. I've heard the old reports. No one who's entered has ever returned. But if we want to understand them, we have no choice." Engineer Kellen leaned over, frowning. "Sir, it's suicide. We don't know what's waiting there. Advanced weapons, energy fields, traps. Any ship that goes in could vanish instantly." Aric clenched his jaw. "I know the risks. But if we don't act, we'll never have a chance to fight back. We need to know their strength, their plans, and their weaknesses." A small elite team was assembled, the Sentinel crew, a few skilled tacticians, and engineers who could handle alien tech. Their mission was clear: infiltrate the Forbidden Zone, gather intelligence, and survive. The words survive and forbidden hung heavy in the air. As the fleet approached the outer edges of the sector, sensors began to flicker uncontrollably. Energy fields warped readings, making distances and positions nearly impossible to determine. Even the most advanced human technology struggled. "Commander," Mira said, voice tense, "we're losing sensor clarity. The fields are distorting space around us. Keep your focus," Aric replied. "Stay sharp. Remember, the shadows among the stars are watching. Every mistake, every hesitation. They'll notice. The team's small shuttle slipped through the warped space, approaching a massive structure that hovered in the void. Its surface shimmered with an unnatural glow, reflecting light that seemed impossible. Jagged spires, energy shields, and strange moving patterns made it clear this was no ordinary base. This was the heart of the alien network. "Commander!" "It's huge," Kellen whispered. "And alive in a way. Look at the energy flows. They're moving, reacting, almost like the base itself is conscious." Aric nodded. "Proceed with caution. Scan for life signs, weapons, anything. And remember, we're not here to fight. Observation first." As they entered a docking corridor, the shuttle sensors picked up life forms, but not like any human had seen. Alien beings moved in synchronized patterns, their bodies sleek and angular, glowing faintly. They seemed aware of the intruders, yet ignored them for now, moving with mechanical precision. Mira's voice shook. "They know we're here, but they're letting us in. Too easy," Aric muttered. "That's the trap. Keep moving. Gather data and get out before they notice the full scale of our intrusion." Inside the base, strange devices lined the walls. Holographic projections displayed star maps, fleet positions, and energy fluctuations across human space. Some of the data matched the stolen readings from the alien device. The team realized they were standing inside the alien's control center. Kellen's fingers flew over his scanner. "Commander, this is insane. Their technology, it adapts in real time. Any signal we send, any energy we emit, they can track and counter it. We're being observed constantly." Suddenly, a ripple of energy surged through the floor. A warning system. Lights flashed red, and alarms pulsed through the base. The aliens had noticed an anomaly. Human interference. "Move," Aric shouted. "Get the data. We've got less than a minute." The team hurried, grabbing holographic files and downloading alien schematics. Each pulse of energy from the base sent shivers down their spines. The base seemed alive, almost aware of their presence. Mira's scanner beeped frantically. "Commander, life signs are converging on our position. They're coming, faster than we can react." Aric's mind raced. "Extraction point now, move!" As they ran through the corridors, alien patrols began to notice. The sleek beings moved with lightning speed, but the humans used stealth and ingenuity to evade capture. Every shadow, every corner was a potential death trap. Finally, they reached the shuttle. Kellen jumped in, slamming the controls. "Launching!" The shuttle rocketed out of the base, dodging energy pulses and traps designed to stop intruders. Outside, the Forbidden Zone shimmered with waves of energy, almost alive. The fleet waited at a safe distance, monitoring, ready to assist, but the humans had to rely on their own skills to escape. The shuttle slipped through the energy distortions and emerged into open space. The team was shaken but alive. They had glimpsed the heart of the alien network, captured partial data, and survived. Aric looked back at the Forbidden Zone, now a distant, glowing mass in the void. "We've learned something today," he said quietly. "They are more powerful than we imagined. Patient, intelligent, adaptive. But they also left clues. Every observation, every escape gives us a chance. We now know enough to begin fighting back." Mira exhaled, relief and tension mingling in her expression. "We saw their secrets, Commander, but I can't stop thinking about what could have happened if we made one mistake." Kellen nodded. "We're lucky to be alive, and lucky to have this data, but this is only the beginning. The Forbidden Zone is their heart, and they will protect it." Human space had never felt so tense. The fleet had survived the Forbidden Zone mission, but the knowledge of the alien invaders' strength weighed heavily on everyone. Commander Aric Dane stood on the bridge of the Sentinel, eyes scanning the black expanse. Each flicker of the stars seemed to hide threats, shadows that could strike at any moment. "Commander," Lieutenant Mira Chen said, pointing to the sensor array, "we've discovered a weakness, sort of. The alien energy shields around their fleets have gaps, but only brief ones. If we time it perfectly, we could strike." Aric's eyes widened. "Brief gaps? How brief?" "A few seconds, maybe less. But enough for a precise attack if we coordinate perfectly. Engineer Kellen leaned closer. It's risky, Commander. One miscalculation, 1 second too late. And we could lose every ship in the fleet. But it's a chance. The first real chance we've had. Aric turned to the fleet command. This is it. We've survived by observation and patience. Now it's time to act. We strike smart, precise, and together. Timing is everything. Prepare every crew. Synchronize every ship. This is the turning tide. Humanity will not wait to be hunted. Outside, the alien scouts appeared again, shadows moving between stars like silent predators. But this time, the humans were ready. Fleets adjusted their positions, smaller ships forming precise attack vectors to exploit the shield gaps. The first wave launched. Human fighters darted like sparks through the dark void, missiles and energy weapons aimed carefully at the vulnerable points in alien shields. For a moment, hope ignited. Some strikes hit their marks. Small alien ships faltered. Sensors registered energy surges and shield collapses, but the aliens responded immediately. From nowhere, massive ships emerged, their movements faster than human eyes could follow. The invaders' strategy became clear. They had anticipated attacks, predicting every maneuver, adjusting shields and counterattacks in real time. Aric's voice rang out on the bridge. Hold formation! Adapt! Don't panic! This is exactly what they want, predictable moves. Mira's fingers flew across the console. Commander, they're analyzing our strategy as we fight. Every attack we make teaches them our weaknesses. We have to change patterns constantly. The fleet began improvising. Fighters split, feints were executed, decoys launched. For the first time, humans were not only reacting, they were adapting. Every move became a test of ingenuity and courage. In the middle of the chaos, Kellen discovered something startling. Commander, the alien shield fluctuations. They're predictable if you watch the pattern over time. We can exploit this. If we time the next attack perfectly, it could turn the battle in our favor. Aric's jaw tightened. Then we do it. Prepare all firepower. This is the moment. Humanity strikes back. The fleet synchronized, holding their breath as the alien shields flickered briefly. Missiles, lasers, and energy bursts slammed through the weak points. Explosions erupted across the enemy formation. One by one, alien ships faltered, some destroyed outright. For the first time, the humans saw it. The invaders could be beaten. The tide of battle had shifted, if only slightly, toward human space. But victory was not without cost. Several human ships were lost, their destruction sudden and merciless. Alerts blared across the bridge. Crew members stared in shock as friends and comrades disappeared into the void. The thrill of success mingled with grief, a stark reminder that survival came at a high price. Commander, casualties are high, Mira said softly. Some units didn't make it. Aric's voice was firm but quiet. We knew this wouldn't be easy. But every strike we survive, every ship we save, proves one thing. We are human. We fight, we adapt, and we endure. That is the true power the aliens underestimated. As the battle raged, the alien flagship appeared on sensors, enormous and imposing. Its shields flickered like living energy, adapting to every human attack. But Aric noticed something, a rhythm. The pattern of shield fluctuations matched what Kellen had predicted. Prepare a focused strike, Aric commanded. Everything we've learned, every pattern, every weakness. Now we hit their heart. This could change everything. The fleet converged, timing their attack perfectly. Energy beams, missiles, and precise fighter strikes slammed into the alien flagship's weak points. For a moment, the void lit up with explosions and flashes of energy. The massive ship trembled, faltered, and then stabilized. Aric clenched his fists. It's holding, but it's wounded. We've shaken them. The tide is turning, Mira exhaled, her tension visible. For the first time, I think we can win. Kellen's voice was almost a whisper. They underestimated humans. They observed us, learned from us. But we are unpredictable too. Courage, ingenuity, and unity, these are our weapons. The fleet regrouped, battered but victorious. The alien scouts retreated into the shadows, their intelligence tested for the first time. Humanity had survived, learned, and struck back. The battle was far from over, but the turning tide was clear. The invaders could no longer assume dominance in human space. Commander Aric looked out at the stars, the glow of distant explosions painting the void. "This is only the beginning," he said softly. "They came to test us, to hunt us. But we have shown them something they didn't expect. Humanity fights. Humanity adapts. Humanity survives." The void of space felt heavier than ever. Human space had survived multiple strikes, learned the alien tactics, and even begun turning the tide. But Commander Aric Dane knew the final challenge was near. The alien flagship remained intact, massive and intelligent, a symbol of the enemy's enduring power. "Commander," Lieutenant Mira Chen said, her voice tense, "we have one chance. A direct strike against their flagship could end this war, but only a few of us will return." Aric's eyes hardened. "I know this is a one-way ticket mission, but if we succeed, we cripple the aliens' command and give humanity a real chance." Engineer Kellen leaned over, scanning the data. "The flagship's defenses are incredible. Shields adapt, weapons anticipate our movements. But we found a weak point during the last battle. It's narrow, precise, and deadly, but it exists. If we time it perfectly, we can penetrate." The plan was simple but terrifying. A small strike team would infiltrate the alien flagship, disable critical systems, and relay commands to the fleet to launch a coordinated attack. Survival was uncertain. The risk was almost certain death. Aric gathered his team. "This is more than strategy. It's courage, sacrifice, and trust. Each of you knows what's at stake. We either succeed, or humanity loses more than we can bear." The shuttle carrying the strike team slipped silently through the void, shadows among shadows. Every crew member felt the weight of the mission. One wrong move, and the alien intelligence would annihilate them instantly. Inside the shuttle, Mira gripped the console. "Commander!" "Sensors are fluctuating. They know we're coming." "Then we move faster," Aric replied, voice calm but firm. "Focus, one step at a time. Trust your training. Trust each other." As the shuttle approached the flagship, its massive silhouette loomed against the stars. Energy shields pulsed like a heartbeat. The alien fleet circled the flagship, scanning for threats, responding to every human maneuver with terrifying precision. Kellen studied the shields. "Timing, now!" "The weak point is opening," Aric nodded. "Engage thrusters. Steady, move through the gap." The shuttle zipped through the narrow shield opening. Inside, the corridors of the alien flagship were unlike anything humans had imagined. Bioluminescent walls pulsed with energy. Alien technology hummed with life, responding to their presence. Mira whispered, "It's alive." "The ship is alive." "Focus," Aric reminded them. "We have a mission." They navigated the corridors, avoiding patrols, energy traps, and adaptive security systems. Every step was a gamble. Shadows moved in peripheral vision, hints of alien life reacting to their intrusion. Finally, they reached the control core. Kellen examined the alien interface, trying to decipher the alien systems. "This is incredible. If I can override the shields, the fleet can strike. But one mistake." Aric's jaw tightened. "No mistakes, go." Kellen worked frantically, fingers flying over the alien panels. Sparks and energy surges threatened to fry the system. The core pulsed like a living heart, reacting to every touch. Outside, alarms began to blare. Alien forces had detected the intrusion. "Commander, we've been spotted," Mira said. "Patrols are converging." Aric drew his sidearm. "We finished this mission. No hesitation." The team fought through waves of alien defenders, using every skill and tactic they had. Shots rang out, energy fields surged, and the corridors became a deadly maze. Time slipped by like seconds in a nightmare. Finally, Kellen shouted, "Override complete! Shields down! For 10 seconds! Fleet, attack now!" Aric commanded through the comlink. Outside, the human fleet seized the moment. Energy beams and missiles slammed into the flagship's exposed weak points. Explosions rocked the alien ship. Fighters darted through the gaps, hitting critical systems. Inside, the strike team barely held their ground. The corridors shook violently, systems failed, and alarms blared louder. Shadows of alien reinforcements swarmed them, intent on stopping the sabotage. Aric made a split-second decision. We need to get out. This is the one-way part. For some of us. The shuttle shook violently as the team scrambled toward extraction. Mira fired at pursuing aliens. Aric cleared the way. Kellen maintained control of the systems. Every second was a battle between life and death. As they neared the exit, the flagship erupted in massive explosions. The shields had collapsed, critical systems destroyed, and the alien fleet's formation was in chaos. The humans had won the strategic fight, but the cost was clear. The shuttle escaped just as corridors collapsed behind them. The team was battered, wounded, and exhausted. Some crew members had been lost. Aric gazed back at the burning flagship. Humanity had struck a decisive blow, but the memory of the fallen weighed heavily on everyone. Mira whispered, "We did it. We really did it." Aric nodded, voice solemn. "We survived. But remember, this was the one-way ticket for some. Their intelligence underestimated us, but our courage, ingenuity, and sacrifice made the difference." Outside the shuttle, the human fleet regrouped. The alien formation was scattered, their flagship crippled, their morale shaken. Humanity had delivered the turning blow, but the war was not fully over. The camera lingered on the remnants of the alien flagship, smoldering against the stars. The audience felt the thrill, the suspense, and the heavy cost. Humanity had survived the impossible, but the true reckoning in space was yet to come. The void of space was alive with tension. The alien flagship had been crippled in the daring strike, and the human fleet had survived against impossible odds. But Commander Aric Dane knew this was not the end. The alien invaders were wounded but not defeated. Their intelligence, patience, and cunning still loomed like shadows across human space. "Commander," Lieutenant Mira Chen said, pointing at the display, "we've analyzed the data Kellen retrieved from the Forbidden Zone and the flagship. We know their fleet structure, their energy flows, even their communication patterns. We can finally hit them where it hurts most." Aric's eyes hardened. "Then we do it. Full strike, coordinated, no hesitation. This is humanity's chance to reclaim its space." Engineer Kellen nodded, fingers flying across the console. "Their adaptive shields are weakened after the last attack. If we synchronize our fleet and time it perfectly, we can cripple their command network completely. This is the final blow." Outside the Sentinel, human ships readied themselves for a massive offensive. Fighters darted into position, larger vessels aligned for coordinated strikes. Every human crew member felt the weight of history. This battle could determine the fate of all human colonies. Aric addressed the fleet through the comms. "This is not just a battle. This is the stand of humanity. Every decision counts. Every move can tip the scales. Remember what we've learned. Adapt, stay sharp, and strike together." The alien scouts appeared, shadows flickering across sensors. But this time, the humans were ready. Predicting their moves, adapting quickly, and striking with precision, the fleet engaged the enemy. Explosions lit up the darkness of space. Missiles tore through weakened shields. Energy beams lashed across alien hulls, and fighters executed daring maneuvers. For the first time, the invaders faltered. Their calculated confidence wavered as humans attacked with a mixture of strategy, courage, and unpredictability. Every move humans had learned from the Forbidden Zone, from observing the shadows, was now being used against them. Kellen shouted, "Shields down on their command hub! Fire everything!" The fleet unleashed its combined arsenal. The alien flagship's core erupted in energy surges, systems failing one by one. Explosions tore through the alien formation. The invaders, intelligent and adaptive, had underestimated one key factor: humanity's will to survive and fight back. Inside the flagship, the remaining alien forces scrambled, attempting to repair critical systems. But humans had anticipated every move. Fighter squadrons penetrated interior defenses, disabling weapons and communication networks. The aliens were losing control, their precision replaced by chaos. On the Sentinel bridge, Aric's gaze was unwavering. "We push forward. No retreat. No hesitation. Humanity does not yield. As the battle reached its peak, the alien flagship, once a symbol of terror, began to collapse. Explosions rocked its hull, energy shields failing completely. Human ships avoided the worst of the debris, but the destruction was spectacular and terrifying. Mira whispered, "Commander, it's working." "We're winning." "Yes," Aric replied, voice firm. "But stay alert. Never assume victory until it's absolute." The alien fleet scattered, fleeing into the void, broken and disorganized. Humanity had struck decisively, crippling the invaders' command network and shattering their control over human space. Colonies once threatened were safe. For now, amid the victory, the fleet regrouped. Ships battered, crew exhausted but alive. The sense of triumph was tempered by the memory of losses, the brave men and women who had given everything to protect humanity. Kellen exhaled, relief evident on his face. "We did it. We actually did it," Mira added quietly. "They underestimated us. But humanity never gives up. We adapt, we survive, we fight back." Aric looked out at the stars, calm after the storm. "This victory is ours today, but we must remain vigilant. The invaders were intelligent, patient, and deadly. Other threats may exist, but we have proven one thing: human courage, ingenuity, and unity can overcome even the most formidable enemy." The camera panned across the fleet, showing ships soaring among the debris of battle, colonies safe in the distance, and the remnants of the alien flagship smoldering against the stars. Humanity had struck back, and the void of space now knew that human space would never bow without a fight. For viewers, the suspense, action, and triumph left an unforgettable impression. Humanity had survived the impossible, defeated a superior enemy, and reclaimed hope among the stars. The story concluded with a powerful reminder: courage, intelligence, and unity can turn the tide, even against overwhelming odds. The episode ended with a distant shot of the stars, calm yet holding infinite possibilities. The audience was left exhilarated, inspired, and satisfied. Humanity strikes back, and the stars will never be the same.